Destruction caused by floods in Auckland. A month's worth of rain fell in 24 hours in Auckland. Let's find out. Floods in any location can be caused by a variety of factors, including heavy rainfall, coastal storms, and the failure of man-made structures like dams and levees. The impacts of floods can be widespread and long-lasting, causing damage to property and infrastructure, displacement of residents, and interruption of essential services. In the aftermath of a flood, it is important for local authorities to work with affected communities to provide relief, support recovery efforts, and help to prevent similar events from happening in the future. Today, we will be looking at the destruction caused by floods in Auckland, so without any further ado, let us get right into it. Floods can have far-reaching impacts, including damage to infrastructure and homes, displacement of residents, and loss of livelihoods. It is important for cities and governments to have adequate flood management and response plans in place to minimize the damage caused by such events. The recent floods in Auckland, New Zealand, caused significant destruction and had a major impact on the city's residents. In recent months, Auckland, New Zealand experienced severe flooding that caused destruction throughout the city. The flood was caused by heavy rainfall, which overwhelmed the city's drainage system and resulted in widespread flooding. This had a major impact on the city's residents, as many homes and businesses were affected by the flooding. In addition, transportation was disrupted, as roads and bridges were closed due to the high water levels. The destruction caused by the floods was widespread, with many homes and businesses being damaged or destroyed. In some areas, the water rose so high that it entered homes, causing significant damage to furniture and personal possessions. Additionally, many of the city's parks and public spaces were also affected, with damage to trees, bushes, and other vegetation. The flood had a significant impact on the city's residents, many of whom were forced to evacuate their homes. Those who remained in their homes faced significant challenges, such as limited access to basic necessities like food and water. The city's emergency services were stretched thin as they worked to respond to the needs of those affected by the floods. In addition to the immediate impacts of the flood, there were also long-term consequences. For example, many businesses were forced to close temporarily or permanently due to the damage caused by the flood. This had a major impact on the local economy, as many people lost their jobs or saw their income reduced as a result. Additionally, the cost of repairing the damage caused by the flood was substantial, and it was expected to take many months or even years to fully recover from the disaster. The 27th of January was New Zealand's wettest day on record, with heavy rain causing floodwaters to sweep through streets and down highways, killing 4 people. Schools and businesses were forced to close as buildings and roads were destroyed by the flood. Auckland International Airport was temporarily closed, stranding thousands of international travelers. More heavy rain has wreaked havoc on Auckland, New Zealand, bringing down trees, flooding homes, and closing major roads. As the region recovers from deadly floods last week, weather watchers reported on 1 February that more than a month's rain had fallen in 24 hours, affecting roads and rail. Grant Robertson, New Zealand's finance minister, told reporters in Auckland on Wednesday that the floods would be the country's biggest non-earthquake event in terms of insurance. He didn't have any estimates for the likely cost of the damage yet. His remarks came as the rain stopped in the 1.6 million-person city, though new downpours caused more damage overnight, and attention turned to determining the scope of the chaos. At least 20,000 claims have already been filed, according to a spokesperson for the Insurance Council of New Zealand, with more expected in the coming weeks. As the water receded, evidence of a flooded and wrecked city emerged. Officials placed red placards on 138 buildings, indicating that entry without council permission is prohibited, while yellow placards restricted the use of 542 others. Structure inspections are expected to be completed by the end of the week. Homes are still being threatened by landslides and sinkholes. On Wednesday afternoon, February 2, 3 people were taken to hospital, with 2 of them critically injured, after a house in Oriole Bay, a rural Auckland township, crashed down a bank onto the beach, trapping 1 person inside. According to Rachel Keller, Auckland's Emergency Management Deputy Controller, more than 600 flood-damaged cars have been removed from the city's roads. fallen trees, debris, and mud-littered streets where residents waded through chest-high water or paddled kayaks to safety last Friday. The education minister ordered the closure of schools and learning centers. Parts of the city's highway system are still flooded, and several rail lines are not operational. Auckland remains in an emergency state, with officials set to reconsider the designation on Friday. There are no more weather warnings in effect for the city. As the cleanup begins, the disaster raises concerns about the rising cost of the climate crisis in New Zealand, which set new records for extreme weather-related claims in 2022. Despite the efforts of emergency services, the disaster's aftermath will be felt for a long time. To recover from this disaster and to prevent similar events in the future, the city and its residents will need to work together. Anyway, this wraps up our video for today. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments section down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel while you're at it.